Hey, Lightworkers. So, in our lives, there are things that we just know. We just know them. So, we don't ever have to think about them. Like, you could get up right now and walk out your door. You wouldn't worry about your door suddenly turning into a wall, right? You just know you can do it. But there are also things that we just don't know. And a lot of the things that we don't know, to move through them, requires some amount of faith. See, it's faith that we rely on when we are about to explore the unknown. And the unknown is a place where, of course, we have no knowing. Okay, we just don't know what we don't know in the unknown. Now, one thing for sure we can say about faith is that we know that the universe has our back. We may not know how the universe has our back. We may not know how things are going to pan out. We may not know how situations are going to turn out for us. But we do know that when we listen and act in faith, there ends up being a ripple effect in our lives. So today I want to talk about this power of faith. What is it? And why faith in ourselves is an absolute requirement. Okay. And then also, I want to talk about the power of reverence, a grace that helps us to expand faith out into every area of our life. Now, when I was a kid, I thought faith was a mindset. I thought faith was a mindset. I didn't have any choice. I had to have faith in God because it's what my religion demanded. All right. But it turns out that faith is actually different expressions of the divine. Now, we've all heard the verse in Hebrews 11, verse 1. And in most, the more updated Bibles will just say, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But there's actually a little blurb in there that got translated right out of these newer Bibles. And it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, as it was the substance of things which have come to pass. And it is the evidence of things not seen. So faith is these different things. It is substance. It is the pure potential. It is the physical manifestation, right? Everything that's come to pass, everything that is yet to be. So it is the substance. Faith is also activity. When you think about this, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Things hoped for, usually it's a desire of our heart. Right? A desire for some improvement in our life. It's something we would really like to see happen. So when we have this desire of our heart, there is a seed planted in the unseen substance of source. Now, because it is a desire of our heart, we are the anchor for it to make its way into our life. So way out here, there it is. The seed of our desire planted in pure source substance of potential, right? But then we've got our heart, and they are magnetized. That's how it knows where to find us in our life. So it's magnetic activity too. Faith is also the evidence of things not seen. So it's proof. There's proof. One of my favorite Unity mystics, an author named Florence Scovel Shinn, wrote a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And she talks about something that I think is very interesting. She calls it signs of land. And supposedly it was, back in the old days when the only way you could get from one continent to another was in a ship, okay, a great ship. But when these explorers were out, exploring all these different lands where they had never been, they would see signs of land before they could look through their telescope and actually see land on the horizon. And so the signs of land would be the sticks, the twigs, It would be the birds, the seabirds, right, who lived on the coast. They wouldn't fly out so far into the ocean that they couldn't fly back. So these were all signs of land. And at that point, then, the men on these ships would have the expectation and the knowing that even though they could not yet see land on the horizon, that it was coming. They didn't just give up and go home, right? When they saw the sticks. Is this all there is? Okay. They stayed the course. Now, faith as evidence, in our own life, it looks like things just start happening. Things come together for our good. We will see the signs and the synchronicities. We may even end up being offered up lesser versions of the things that we actually desire. You know, for example, if you, like I know for myself, when we went house hunting, there were some homes that they didn't quite meet my expectation, but I thought, well, maybe I should just settle for this. But we didn't settle, all right? But it's a lesser version. Then it's just making way for the bigger version that you're waiting on, okay? So we'll feel expectation and knowing, some excitement, maybe some enthusiasm, when we start seeing these signs and wonders and even the lesser versions of the things that we are desiring. So faith is not just a mindset. Faith is divine activity that we tune into when we surrender our will to the divine. It is many different expressions of source that are available to us. The pure potential substance, the physical expression, and everything that happens in between. So why do we have to have faith in ourselves if we already have faith in the activity of the divine? Well, source is the substance. Okay, it's the substance of everything. It's the activity, it's the demonstration. But our mind is the builder. We are co-creating with the divine. We are participating with life. Remember, we create our experiences through our way of thinking and acting. Now, if we end up being on autopilot, we're not embodying faith, and we're just stuck in reaction mode, we are more likely to create chaos in our life than any happy outcomes, any kind of peace. Now, Neville Goddard said this: everything depends on our attitude toward ourselves. That which we will not affirm as true of ourselves cannot develop in our life. Now, I was raised in a traditional church, and I thought that having faith in God, which as a kid I would have told you I had faith in God, but I thought what that meant was that God would do everything. So if God wanted something to happen in my life, then it would happen, and I just didn't need to worry about it. Now, when I was in junior high, I was in the choir at school, and I had a good time. I just got to kind of sit there in the background and sing whatever I was told to sing. When I got into high school, I was going to join the choir, but I found out you had to try out for the choir. And I was just like, there's no way. There is no way. I can't sing all alone in front of somebody. I just can't do it. Because I could not affirm for myself that that could be true, that that could develop in my life, that I could actually like try out for the choir. I thought faith in God meant that if I was supposed to be in the choir, I would just be in the choir. I didn't try out for it, and I didn't make it in. Of course, why would I? But I could not affirm as true for myself that I was good enough to do that. No matter how much we desire something, if we cannot affirm it as true for ourselves, it gets no energy from us. And we don't become the anchor for it. Remember, we're planting our seed of our desire in the fertile substance of soil, and here it is, woo, okay. But our heart has to magnetize it. We come together, and we do that through our way of thinking and acting. So if we're not believing it can be true for us, we're not thinking and acting as if it's true, and we're not doing anything. We are co-creating with the divine, okay, with this desire in our heart. and the seed is planted, but we have to listen and act in faith to energize that seed so it can start moving toward us. Now, Ernest Holmes says this, and this is, I just love the idea of hanging on to this as a good reminder. The man who has faith in his own ability accomplishes far more than the one who has no confidence in himself. Now, of course, having confidence in ourselves, there are all kinds of definitions for that, right? It doesn't mean though that we have to show up like in this big, bold, way. And it's like, I'm so confident and smart. I know everything. Having confidence is just to realize what is working through us, that power that creates worlds is also at work within us. And it wants for us these experiences. It wants for us. So we can still have some nervousness, right? I could have showed up that day in going into high school. I could have been nervous. It would have been okay. But I could still have tried out for the choir, just knowing that I had that within me. I had no idea back then. Okay? No idea. We have faith in divine source. We have faith in the substance, the activity, the demonstration. They're all the ingredients we need to create an experience. We have faith in ourselves, so we will listen and act, and we'll pay attention, right? We'll pay attention and interact with life. We'll participate with life. We may get an idea, or a solution may come to us. We may get inspired to try something different, or a new opportunity may present itself. So we just walk through that door. Okay, remember, like the sailors in Florence Scovel Shin's example of signs of land, when they saw signs of land, they kept moving. They kept doing all of the things on their great ship that they would need to do. They didn't just give up and go home. So we listen and we act and we pay attention. We'll participate with life. Our hope becomes more than just a wish, because now the seed planted in the realm of divine substance is gaining energy and momentum. And we let the universe do its job by responding to us, because we are participating with life and giving it something to respond to. Now, if this still sounds like a lot, there is a way we can add a little extra oomph to this process, and it is through the practice of reverence. Reverence is the grace that enables us to see how all of life is interconnected, how life can come together for our good from surprising places, right? Places, things, people that we never imagined. And we can see how all of life is everything that's ever been, and it's everything that is yet to be. The grace of reverence is what enables us to see all of our life from a mystical perspective. How God is at work in all things. We see life with a sense of awe. That's how we should be looking at life every day, is with a sense of awe. I mean, the activity of God is everywhere present, and it is in all things, even in the things that we fear, the things we don't like, the things we don't approve of, and the things we don't understand. The activity of God is everywhere present. Now, there's a very simple process to connect to reverence. And of course, anyone can do this just through a regular practice of prayer or meditation. Like, you can go for a walk. But I like to just do it very simply. I just put my hand on my heart. This is a way to get into heart-mind coherence. And just take a nice deep breath. And then I just feel the truth of the unity principles. First of all, God is all things. Everything that's ever been, everything that's yet to be. And that means me. That means me. And God, source energy, is all that I could ever need. It is all the ideas and the inspiration. It is solutions It's the guidance. So I can create an experience in my life more than I could even ever imagine. God is all things, and it is working through me, for me, as me. It is infinite in its abundance and its goodness, and it is ever expanding through me as I am creating my experiences. I get to participate in this life right here and right now. So that's a simple, quick way to make a connection with the grace of life. And if you think about it, the grace of reverence, which you could say is a grace of life, because it's about all the ways we're connected throughout all these lives. We are designed to participate with life, and we already have all of the tools to participate with life within us. As we embody faith, we are just activating all of those higher forces. So we're guided forward. Now here's a simple affirmation for this week. It's so easy. Source is the substance, my mind is the builder. Source is the substance, my mind is the builder. Source is the substance, my mind is the builder. Or you could even say, my mind is the player. I'm playing in all of this source substance. My mind is the player, right? My mind is the player. So what we know about faith is that it is different expressions of the divine. It's the substance, the pure potential. It is physical expression, like what we see here in our lives already, this manifestation. And it's the activity. It's all of the movement between the source or the pure substance. It's all of the movement between pure substance and its demonstration or manifestation. It's the activity of God in our lives, the everywhere present activity, right? From pure potential to manifestation. It's the proof that life is coming together for our good. Faith is the magnetic power that brings our heart's desire into our life. It knows it's a part of our life. See, without faith, we would have these desires, but they would just be wishful thinking. They'd never get energized. When we embody faith, because we know God is all things, and that means each of us, and we are creating our experiences through our way of thinking and acting, we energize our desires. And this increases the activity of all these higher forces in our lives. So here is an invitation this week. Just consider this. If Source gives us all that we need, and our mind is the player in this game of life, our mind is the builder, how do we want to show up to our life? How do we want to show up? What are we affirming for ourselves as true? What are you affirming for yourself as true? Are you affirming, oh, this sounds very exciting and I really love to do this, but yeah, I just don't see how I could make this work. I don't see how I can make this happen. I don't know. Or are you affirming, this seems very exciting. This seems very exciting. And I think that if I embody faith, I'm excited for a reason. I'm excited for a reason, and God is all things, and that means me. So this inspiration came to me, this idea came to me. I feel it's divine in origin. I feel it's divine in origin. All right, so am I wishing for something to happen, but I don't see that it's possible? Or am I participating with all of life, knowing that even when I don't know how things will pan out, even when I don't know how something can happen, I do know that things will still come together for my good. I do know that life comes together for me. Now, as we participate with this good, as we participate in this activity, as we are participating with life, Well, that is how we are creating heaven on earth. So remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. You are a one-time, one-of-a-kind cosmic event. In everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is.